Let this one go since we cut off earlier and bring it back.
The world famous Mr. Magic Rap Attack presents
I'm Kevin Stritch here with my friend Tyler Mayer. This is episode 0 of the No Name Podcast.
Yeah,
for now. No name at the moment. We're thinking, brainstorming, gonna think of something good that appeals to everyone.
We're also looking for some, if anyone has any ideas for a possible name.
We might put up a poll.
We could put up a poll.
A Twitter poll. Stay tuned on my Twitter.
That's true.
At KStritch33.
Yep, I'm at Tyler and then _ Mayer. Basically, the whole goal of our podcast, it's going to be fantasy focused. That's kind of what, we love. Fantasy football, fantasy baseball,
sports in
fantasy
general,
basketball.
But we're also going to try to appeal to what's hot, what's hot, what's going on in society today. I hope to have a bunch of our friends and any other people who want to come on and talk about whatever, if they have some time.
We might have some, we could have some.
Could be chicks.
Could get some, yeah.
Could be whoever.
It's not a bad idea.
Could be Mrs. Mayer.
Yeah.
She almost broke the mic.
Yeah, Mrs. Mayer almost did break the mic.
Hello?
That one, see?
Oh, that was not even plugged in.
Talking into the wrong mic.
Yeah, talking into the wrong mic. We're going to cut you out of pretty much all of this anyway.
Tyler, why is Ali outside? That's
Because he was, we'll let him, once you leave.
Cold.
Okay,
Why don't you put him out?
We have controversy going on in the Mayer household right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Mrs. Mayer,
We're
we're
live.
talking, we're live on the air.
We're live. To thousands.
Couple thousand.
Yeah, get out of here.
It would appear Ollie, Tyler's dog, 2.5, is outside freezing cold. Miss Mayer threw him out there and now wants him back in.
Yeah, you did. All right. He's coming back in.
Bubbles also making an appearance on the show today.
All right.
But yes, fantasy focus, sports in general, what's hot. Might start watching some reality TV shows that girls like, just so we can have the large audience. We're pretty. I wouldn't say we're PC, bruh, but
No. We are willing to talk about anything, really. I think is the main message here.
we're also gonna get a book club going. Let's not forget
Yes,
that.
book club.
So
Yes.
people who want to follow along and read the books with us, it's gonna be not sports books. We're gonna try and keep it intellectual.
We are trying. We're going to be reading some very intellectual books. We're going to
The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, still a
Yeah.
good read apparently.
Yeah.
Some stuff on stocks, investing.
Some stocks.
Yep,
Yes.
Kamos, I know he loves that stuff, so he's gonna be in the book club. Danny, Chewy,
Oh yeah.
whoever else,
Yeah.
anyone who wants to read along and then have input on the book when we're done. We're gonna start that up in the new year though. Too
Yeah,
busy. Thanksgiving,
yes. Yeah.
Christmas. It's
January 2018, tentative start date, really.
for the book club.
For the book
we all
club.
have to get the book. I don't know if the library will have everything. I haven't been in Berlin Peck in about 18 years.
Yeah, my library card has $30 in late fees, so I can't go in there. I will probably just buy the book instead.
Maybe you could use your fantasy winnings.
Don't.
Maybe you could use your points for winnings.
Yeah. Okay.
Give
Thank
you a
you.
knock on that.
I
Because you should have that locked up.
Can't believe you. You just tried to mush me there, but
No, I don't think. No, you got 2 weeks left. I think you're straight on that.
I hope. What was I gonna say? Oh, well, also, I'd like to get gotta get Jared on. Jared, we gotta talk conspiracy theories in general.
Jared
I want
Silverman.
to talk conspiracy theories in general, Jared. We also want to get James on the podcast. He's got some rumors that he needs to answer.
Yep, that's James Brancato.
James
ladies
Brancato.
and gentlemen.
Yes. We need James Brancato. We need some answers. He thinks, one, we'd like to know if he is a dog hater or not. And two, we'd also like to know, what he thinks about the fact that when he wins, the Vikings lose, and when he loses in fantasy, the Vikings win. So I'd like to just hear his thoughts on that, especially how he hates dogs. James hates dogs.
I hate to hear that. I hope that's fake news.
It's not. I would love to say it is fake news, but it's not. In general, we're looking to really talk about anything.
Yep. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time. We're going to have guests on, as we said.
It's going to be fun.
We're
Because,
gonna,
people like listening to Barstool. People like listening to, KFC and Heidelberg and Big Cat PFT.
Right.
And they're fun and all, but everyone knows us. We're gonna start with the core and expand. You got
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on.
You
gotta love it.
Gotta love it. Grassroots. We're gonna build from the bottom.
And eventually make it big.
Seems
inevitable if you ask me.
The goal is to make it big. I don't see how we don't make it big.
We're starting young, 24 years young. Most people don't make it till their 30s. So we're gonna have a lot of work built up by then.
That's true. We are already basically in our we're trying to figure out something to do that's not our boring work jobs.
Yes.
That's kind of what it comes down to.
I wonder if people are kind of picking up on the sarcasm.
They might. To any some kid today, actually, when I was trying to make our logos and all of our stuff, he saw me making all of our logos and signing us up for all the stuff, and he kept asking me, he's like, "Will you let me on the website? Will you let me on the podcast?" He's got to be 17. He annoys me to no end. If he listens to this, I'll feel bad.
Maybe one day when he's out of high school.
Yeah, no.
That's usually the rule with students-teacher relationship, right? We could ask Woodsy about that.
Oh my God.
Just got to be out of high school, I'm pretty sure.
We will have Wood talking about Texas life, teaching, if it's morally okay or morally wrong to date a student or a former student.
Once they're out of high school, though.
Once they're out of high school, yes. Once they're in high school, because we'll get to that,
Yeah, that's for another day, nonetheless. Our good friend Travis Wood, so that'll be fun.
Yes, it should be good. Right before we get started here, we wanted to give a little shout out to Pete Hogan. Peter won a $75 entry to one of his DraftKings contests.
For a retweet contest.
Retweet contest. 30 people won. Pete Hogan, one of them.
Yep, of course.
Yeah.
I can't retweet that.
I can't. If I retweeted that, I wouldn't have won. Pete retweeted, he wins, and that's just the way it is. But if Pete wins, he's going to win $1 million.
If he comes in first. Top 10, he's looking at 5 figures. Top 20, at least 4 figures.
Okay.
So if I help him craft a lineup and give him some advice and his players do well, I expect a little coin.
Yeah.
To be thrown my way.
If he wins the mill, he can at least deposit like $1,000 each into
our accounts, our DraftKings, so we can lose it in the next week.
That would not last. I would run through that too quickly.
It's the NFL 75th Millionaire Special. $1 million to first for those who want to play along. Think they might beat Peter. $75 to play.
Yeah, if you want to play along against Peter, by all means, I think that would some friendly competition other than the competition he's going to get. So just wanted to give a little shout out to Pete. Congratulations on your little your win, I guess. Like you won $75, but you have to win the contest now.
Yeah, top basically 13,000 out of 60,000. No biggie, no pressure. You'll be fine.
No pressure, Pete. Yeah. No pressure at all.
All right. Since this is episode 0, we're just going to talk a little bit about the BFFL now. We're through nearly 11 weeks. No one has a playoff spot locked up technically.
Right. No playoff spot technically. Really on either side, no one's even like a sure thing to get in.
Because we still could have Matthew Papke, a.k.a. Chew, a.k.a. Chewy, a.k.a. Chew Stick, a.k.a. Chew Bogues. Still could go 7-6. Jared's 7-6. So those, that division right there, those two could make it in, Jared and Chew. And then that leaves you, Mayor, James Pa, the Paladinos, I should say.
Yes.
And the third being B. Hall.
Of course, yes.
And it looks like you're going to win this week.
Yeah.
Unless
it's looking...
Russell Wilson somehow breaks his leg first play of the game tonight.
It's looking good.
What's the score? Are you pulling it up?
I'm up by 3.9 against Eric. First off, shout out to Eric. Gave me a little scare when I was at the UConn game.
I was impressed. Yeah.
I was considering, I was contemplating life after that last AJ Green touchdown. That was brutal. But it didn't really matter in the end because Alshon came in 14.7 out of the blue, got a catch, could have been down, but they didn't even review it. Yeah. They didn't even review it.
It was questionable.
And then Ertz got 0.8. Thank you, Ertz. Still playing for my team in a way.
Yeah.
But Gronk, only put up 3.6. But
yeah, that's how it goes.
Regardless, 3.9. I have Russ. He has Tevin Coleman. Do I feel good? I do. But Tevin Coleman,
you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. Coleman could, if he rips 2 touchdowns, you just never know.
You do never know. And the thing with Coleman, I was reading that they're gonna ride him. Like they said, we're gonna
no Freeman.
Freeman. We're gonna pound him, and we're just gonna let him run as much as his little, sickle cell heart can take, really.
Yeah.
And, we'll see what happens. I'm feeling good. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm feeling good. Your matchup, you are going to win, correct?
It would appear so unless Austin Hooper goes completely berserk tonight. So that'll push me to 5-6. Technically still in the playoff hunt. Shout out Jared for beating Chu this week. I respect that, Jared. Thank you for keeping my playoff hopes alive through 11 weeks. Week 12, I'm still in the hunt. It feels good to be relevant in fantasy football. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that on his end, taking care of business.
I've been rooting for you because you've had a little bit of a rough
streak with some guys I thought were going to do a little better.
Yeah.
Devontae Freeman won. I have here on my notes, parentheses, sucks. Just complete and utter disappointment. Also, just lacking the QB position this year.
Yeah,
I had TB12, and I honestly flipped him at the right time. He was doing mediocre. I just couldn't get the right guy in.
You did flip him at the right time.
Actually, I got Phil Rivers in there a few times, I think, and he did okay. It was more of the Jameis Winston that I shouldn't have trusted him or Smoking Jay. So
You trusted Winston pretty hard, actually.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense, too. A bad defense should have gotten a lot of garbage, just not this year.
No.
Not this year.
But yeah, I mean, besides Jay Cutler getting 1.4, which is brutal, you're still looking good. I mean, you're gonna win most likely.
I'm playing for pride.
You are. You're playing for pride. You're playing not to be in last. That's
Right,
what a lot
and
of the league is.
I should be fine.
A lot of the league right now is playing
Actually, I
not
have
to be
that
in last.
locked up. Unfortunately, it's Rampone who's gonna fall to 2-9.
Oh, boy.
Sad to say. Just again, David Johnson ruined his season early off the rip.
He did.
Unforeseeable. Can't predict that. That is classic Rampone luck to a T. Kid can't really catch a break.
Yeah.
So
Dak going negative 1.2.
Not
ideal.
So
Not
basically,
ideal.
he'll be 2-9. The most he'll be able to win is the next 2 weeks. So the most wins he gets 4. So good to know, that I'm not coming in last.
You're not coming in last. You know what?
Eco's
though?
gonna be close.
I was just gonna say, Eco is going to be coming very close. Not only is he going to be coming close, if I do beat him, I mean, next week is basically for all of the marbles.
Does Ryan and Eric match up?
They do match up next week.
Wow.
And we'll probably talk about that, in our next episode about those matchups in general.
Crucial.
But, it's a crucial one
is.
it is. I mean, I wouldn't want to wear the Rompum. I really wouldn't.
I can't say I would be a fan of wearing that out to a bar.
I mean, I guess if any two people are going to, be the ones to wear them, they're the two guys that already, do have girlfriends and do have, they don't have to. I'm going to be honest. I wanted James to wear it from the hop. From the hop. Mm-hmm. I think he will wear one anyways. He might just come that day when we all go to watch the punishment unfold. He might show up with one anyways.
Yeah.
Little Vikings one. Mm-hmm. But
Plot twist: the Rompum helps James get bitches.
James, if anyone can wear it, it would be James. Yeah. If anyone could wear it, it would be James. That's not a doubt. Mm-hmm. Let's see, what other matchups do we also got? This one is unfortunate. This one affects me here. Brendan could, unless Matt Bryant
goes for 30.
You need 30.3. So he needs 31.
Okay, so 31 from Matt Bryant tonight.
31 from Matt Bryant. You can do the math on how he can get there. But if that doesn't happen,
650-yard field goals.
650. That's not out of the question.
Greg the Leg put up 27.
He did.
Didn't he have 27?
He did. He did actually. I think he did put up 27.
Sworn he did.
We'll look into that, but yeah,
I have to look up the players and see.
Yeah,
I could have sworn he had a huge week earlier in the season.
I mean, how you even gonna look up? Oh, here we go.
I don't know how to spell Zurline.
I didn't either, but he did have a 27.
Okay.
He was 7 for 7, and then 2 extra points.
See, so it's not out of the question.
It's not out of the question.
If you turn one of those extra points into a field goal, maybe a 40-yarder, so you add on 3.
Yeah.
Okay, 29 technically.
Okay.
Oh, no. Am I doing the math right on that? If you had 27,
depends on how long they are.
It'd have to be 40, so that would be 28 plus. Actually, okay.
This one's.
It'd be 26. It would be 30. It would be 30.
I think what we're trying to say is this one's not over, folks. I really don't think it is. Unfortunately, what the result of this doesn't help me in any way.
No.
Because Brendan now, if I do win, me and Brendan are tied. Mm-hmm. If I lose, then me and J-Pa are tied, and I do play Josh next week / James next week. So that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
But now it does get a little close. So we'll see what happens with that game.
This year, the division that we're in is just doing very well record-wise.
Yeah.
Do we think we'll see potentially one division, 10 teams?
One division 10. That I don't see happening because of how we need to do the schedules and per se. But I don't hate it in theory. I really don't. I mean,
you'd think you get the best 4 teams that way out of it.
You would. Well, Jared has told us how that's not completely the case because he might at one point it was looking like he wasn't going to make the playoffs. Remember, and he had the third most points for. So we were going to enact a rule where if you're in the top 4 of points for and you're under 500, you could still get in over a team that's 500. That's still up for vote. We'll see if that goes through.
That's just one of those case scenarios that only happens to Jared. You don't see these things happen to anyone else in the league. Very rare to see anyone lead the league in points for and not in playoff position. I don't think that's ever happened before.
Well, you know what? Don't jinx it yet because I'm pretty sure I'm still not in yet if I do win this week. But it's not out of the question that I miss the playoffs.
Right.
I'm not in. And I don't see myself losing the points for battle unless I put up a real dud. Speaking of Jared, though, I mean, he's the last matchup that we got to talk about here. He's going to win against Chu. He won. It's really just a matter of how much at this point. I mean, Mark Ingram, 23.5. Defense and kicker.
Combining for 44
points.
I can't say I love that.
No big deal. That's definitely not something wrong with the scoring or, with the fact that we should get rid of kicker and defense in the first place.
It's going to be interesting to see how the league votes. Personally, I'm not a defense or kicker guy.
Right.
If I had to keep one, I would say, okay, keep the defense. I still think they're both terrible. I'd rather see us add another skill player to the lineup rather than have those two.
We need another wide receiver.
We were talking about it in our little group with Ryan as well. I just don't see how the Patriots can give up 8 points, play a pretty great defensive game. Bills score 24, I believe.
I believe you were right, yeah.
And then the Chargers defense gets 24. I mean, Patriots defense probably was low teens.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like it.
No.
One touchdown, less points. I don't know.
I don't like it either.
I don't know. I feel like giving up touchdowns, I don't know.
Let's just put it this way. I was doing a little tally in here in terms of who is yes and who is no. We do have 5 yes votes already off the hop.
Are we sure on this?
It's me, you.
And this is
off
for
the
kicker?
Hop. This is for kicker. Defense, I'm pretty sure is gonna have to stick around.
Yeah.
But this is.
But at
for
least
defense.
we're eliminating one. It's a moral victory.
It's a moral win. We're getting rid of one. It's and hopefully we can add another position, add another wide receiver. That's the hope. Me, you, Ryan. From our indications, I assume that he's a yes.
Yeah.
From talking to him. And then we have Brendan and James, who I know for a fact are yes votes. Because when we're at the Thursday nights, right, we're at the Eco Basement, we have talked about this, and from what I've seen, it sounds like we're going to get a yes vote from Brendan and James.
Right.
So
basically we have 3 question marks. Kyle.
We got Kyle, Chu, and Josh.
Chu's probably a no, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I say is no.
Yeah, and just to say for the 2 no's, it's Eric, who has been and then Jared.
Ironically enough, Eric's defense and kicker have been absolutely putrid all season. Pretty much of no help to him, but that's kind of surprising to see that he's still for having those positions, specifically the kicker here.
You know what? One thing that Eric does ask me a lot, he goes, I'd like to hear one good reason to get rid of kicker. And my reason really would be...
it's better to have Greg the Leg on your team than Julio Jones.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I mean, if Greg the Leg is more valuable, arguably, than really, I'd say 80% of the players that you can possibly pick.
He's a wide receiver 1 and an RB1.
Yeah. I mean, and Justin Tucker used to be the anomaly. Yeah. He was the anomaly. He's been okay this year, but, Greg the Leg just
Zurline
hitting bombs.
Yeah.
I mean,
now, we saw Gostkowski hit that 61-yarder, which was good from about 90 up in Mexico City and with that thin air.
The thin air.
And the altitude,
oh my
whatever.
God. That was something, but yeah.
No, so it just goes to show that the kicks that far aren't, I don't know, maybe tone it down. Maybe if we tone the kicker scoring down, like a 50-yarder, like it's 2.5. Cut it in half.
I wouldn't mind a
Make
cut
it
in half.
less impact on the matchup.
Yeah, the fact that they're almost determining matchups at this point is what just concerns me is all.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and I'm all for,
yeah.
Waiver wires, good additions, helping your team out. But when it comes to kicker and defense, I feel like it's even more luck, and fantasy is already enough luck. We're trying to eliminate that.
We're trying to eliminate the luck. I mean, and this is nothing against anybody. I'm not, talking bad about Jared. You have to play the guys because we do have to play kicker and defense right now. So I can't blame him for taking advantage of that.
I'll also take credit for telling him to drop Suck Up, who dropped a Cinco on him this week.
True.
And then Goss comes in for 20.
Yeah, well, I think what he wanted to keep both. That was kind of
true. Hey, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. That was what I assumed from what we were when I was talking to him, that he wanted to keep both guys. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's an option that he could have done. But he went the right way. He kept Gaz. Gaz got what? 20, 22?
20.
20?
20 on those. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
20. That's a lot of Spanish
No
going
big.
on today.
No big.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little brief look at the matchups. Really, only one matchup is really to be determined. That's me and Eric. I guess you could say Kyle has a chance, right?
Yes, I mean, I have Blair Walsh and Jimmy Graham though.
Yeah, Hooper has to go off really as well.
You would have to drop a 30 piece, and my guys would have to do literally nothing.
Well,
but you never know. That's why I play the game.
That's why we play the game. We don't want to rustle feathers here. This is our episode 0 of the podcast. But there has been, and this might be a little shock, some controversy going on in the league.
A lot of controversy.
A lot of controversy going on this year, in particular, and just another
let's
string.
Just start it out. What off the rip?
Should we start? Okay. Well, number 1 was Irma. Yeah. Chu picking up Tyrod, dropping Winston.
Being able to pick him back up.
And then we let him pick him back up. Right. And we've realized at this point that was a mistake.
Should not have been allowed, technically.
I think Chu also knows that was a mistake.
Little impact.
It was little impact. There was really no impact, I think, in the grand scheme.
In general, if there's weather issues,
from now on, tough luck.
Tough luck. So when this happens in 12 years down the road, whoever picks the people down in Tampa Bay or Miami.
Well, I think that's the one thing with all of these issues we've had is that they're so
very rare,
and so improbable to happen in the first place.
You can't plan for it.
There's really nothing we could have done to resolve the situation.
Issue number 2.
That was
Wednesday Night Magic.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
If we were watching, or I should say, if you were watching the Colts Titans Monday Night Football game, I think week 6.
I'm pretty sure it was week 6.
I think it was week 6.
Week 6.
5 or 6. Last play of the game.
Yeah, it was week 6. Yep.
Jacoby Brissett, 4th and basically a yard. Play action, designed run to the right. Makes a dive for the marker. Comes up, gains probably a couple inches. He
went forward. Remember that guy who was tweeting at you?
Yeah.
He showed. The ball did move forward.
I made a ruckus on Twitter. Got a couple people behind me who lost for the same reason on Wednesday because they ruled that a sack, but somehow it was ruled a sack even though he gained a couple inches. Even if you don't gain any inches at all, it's not a sack unless you actually lose yards.
Yeah.
So it was odd to see them give a sack, and then, of course, the Palladino squad ends up sneaking by 0.1.
0.1.
0.1.
Yeah. 0.1.
Which, huge.
If you think about the ramifications of that, I would have already made the playoffs.
True.
If that had
I
gone,
would still even be more in the hunt.
You would have been in the hunt.
I mean, doubtful that I would catch. Well, no, he would be 6 and. Would he be 7? What's his record?
He right now is.
He's 6 and 4.
He's 6 and 4 right now.
So he would be.
He would be 5 and 5.
He'd be 5 and 5. Yeah.
But you know what? And I will say this: he did kind of. That was almost poetic justice because of what happened to him with me, where last play of the game, Chiefs defense gets a sack strip
Right.
touchdown for me to win.
Right.
So I really can't say much about being.
But that's a legit play, though.
But that play went through and reviewed, and then that it was a little
legit
different.
play.
Right. This one is
Questionable.
Jacoby was going forward, and when you read through like the definition of a sack, it didn't make sense that they gave him a sack in the first place.
No.
But
Didn't make sense. And then that same week, of course, ASJ, Austin Safarian-Jenkins, has the touchdown against the Pats, and they rule it's not so.
yeah,
It sucks that you can't do
I
much
do
about
remember that one.
Can't
Yep.
go back and critique every little play. It is what it is. But
It is.
no matter how you want to chalk it down, just complete bullshit.
It was complete bullshit. I mean, I feel like many of us have already made peace with that, but that was just a travesty, really.
Yeah, that was another one which was
that
controversy.
Yes, that of course kind of sprung off into our next controversy, if you will, that went into Rampone. I don't know how to really word what happened other than him trying to tank. To make a point, I guess, is what happened.
We'll have to have him on the show.
Yeah,
we'll have to have him on the
yeah.
pod, ask what was going on. A lot of
We'll have-
trades, and honestly, not a lot of the trades were even that bad. Hindsight, it's not that the fact
Yeah.
that the trades would have worked out, but if you honestly think they were going to work out to begin with, questionable to say the least.
They were.
It's more of the intent, I think it was.
It was, yeah. It was an obvious intent, and Rampone, he did fess up to that there was intent there to kind of cause some, mishap. I don't know exactly. But, yeah, that was the main issue was that, and you know what we were saying with all the trades got rolled back that he made. If he had the team that he traded for,
be pretty decent.
I gave him Thielen and Alshon for Dez and Mixon. So I really appreciate that this trade didn't go through.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it was really not a good move. I mean, who would have predicted, Thielen turning into what he is now? But
yeah, Thielen probably going to lead. He could lead the league in yards.
he could. He has a very good chance. He's been number 1 or number 2, 1, 2, or 3, like pretty much every week, except when he had his bye, he went down, then he went right back up. So he has been a treat. But yeah, so that was one of the other.
Probably would have worked out. Mine was Derrick Henry for Graham, and Graham had 5 touchdowns in 3 weeks, I think.
True.
And he's been consistently finding the end zone.
And then there was Demaryius Thomas for Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson
was good. He's been good.
His ankle is shattered now, but back then he looked good.
He was looking good for sure. Demaryius, okay, it's not like that's out of the question. Ridiculous. The one that was the worst was definitely Smallwood, just because to drop the player afterwards didn't look good. But either way, it wasn't all terrible, and it'll be interesting to see how moving forward that works.
Yeah,
with the whole trades and everything.
Yeah,
just because I think they should have gone through.
They should have gone through. I thought at the end of the day.
They should have gone through, and they would have gone through if the intent wasn't there.
Right. I don't understand, really. Again, we're going to have Rampone on, and we'll see what he says about this. I just don't understand, why that happened.
Probably just to shake things up when you're not doing well.
Right, and I get that, too. It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. But
some people have done it in the past, shake up the team significantly, try and get lucky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it happens all the time, and I don't blame them for that.
Controversy in the BFFL this year. It's been one for the books.
It has been. And and unfortunately, that's not even the end of it, really. And then after that happened, right, I guess the next one you could say is the one that we want to talk about now.
Oh, the defense.
Which is the defense trade.
I didn't like that one initially.
I didn't think of it at the time. I don't think I realized who the Chargers were playing. I didn't fully grasp what was going on at the time because when the trade went down, we were at the Tavern on the Tracks.
By then were they saying that Peterman was the starter?
Yes.
Okay.
They did.
So then that's why it was questionable to me why you'd want that. I thought the Seattle defense was a little banged up, so that's why it was questionable.
Right.
Especially given the fact that they have the Browns coming up week 13 as well, the Chargers, and they have a pretty solid team. They started out 0-5, I think, 0-4, 0-5. So
they did.
They had a couple of bad breaks with their kicker, but in general, I think they're a pretty good football team. Pretty good defense.
Bosa,
Ingram.
They have a good team. Bosa, Ingram,
secondary.
Casey Hayward, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they have a decent defense.
They do. They do have a good
that
D.
matchup this week, and then week 13, like you said, huge.
Again, that's another one where when the trade went through, but the thing is I can't really say that it's an unfair trade.
I'm not going to complain and say that's
right.
an unfair trade. It's defenses.
It's really more so that defense has such a big impact on our league.
Which is why it's frustrating.
Frustrating. We might have to go back to the scoring system we had before, where after one touchdown you have 4. Yeah. I think we should maybe go back.
Yeah.
I think that's really what should happen.
I think we botched that one big time.
We thought we were
making things better because we did. We were completely opposite in the summer.
We were.
We won the defense. We thought we're getting
defense.
Give up one touchdown, you lose 6 points.
Yeah.
Then we cut it in half. I mean, now I think we had it right the whole time.
We did. I think we did have it right the whole time, and I think defense will stay. I don't mind defense. There's
back
at least
to the old ways.
Back to the old ways. Yeah.
I think we
might
might
have
just solved everything there.
We might have.
Kicker, and we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're onto something here. The first episode 0 of the No Name Podcast.
On episode 0, already fixing the league.
Glad we're talking this out.
Yeah, I think we might need this a little talking out. Maybe we'll have the whole league on.
Yeah, we can get everybody in on
Get
this.
2 in on, and we could, and we'd like to do as much as we can. That's kind of the whole goal there, is to do as much. But yeah, going back to the controversy. I'm not gonna talk too much on it. I know some people were upset about the trade getting made. And I get both sides.
My trade a little bit of controversy.
Yeah, your trade. Yeah, your trade almost it got blocked up for a second. We almost didn't let it go through.
Chewy wasn't liking it.
Chewy did not like it.
He wasn't liking it. It was I gave away Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Freeman, and Derek Carr for Mariota, Bell, Rashard Matthews. All 3 of those guys, of which I acquired, completely dominated this week. While Kareem Hill, Freeman didn't play, and Derek Carr was complete trash. I think that worked out well for me. I don't think it's going to work out well for Kyle.
No. Well, you know what? Like, I tried to explain this to Chew when the trade went down, because Chew did text me. Me, him, and Eco are always kind of like in talks just to make sure like some of the big things going down are like handled. And he asked me if I thought that the trade was unfair. Like, he said he wanted to know if I thought that what was going down was there was a bad reason to do it, and I knew that wasn't the case because like I saw you talking about the trade in our chat there.
Yep.
But I told Chew that the thing is that Kareem and Tyreek and Freeman, they might have good rankings, but in terms of their actual like play, they have not been good for the last like month really, and you would know, right? They really haven't been too good at all.
No, I'm very aware of having that Chief combo, which honestly has the big play potential, but they can lose you weeks for sure. I mean, I like having Kareem. He just couldn't hold it the whole time.
No,
not like Zeke could.
Yeah,
but, I mean that's the chance you take. Being the only running back, Andy Reid likes to run the ball. I think teams just game plan for him pretty well, and Tyreek being a smaller guy, it's just hard for him to get open.
Right. No, I do agree with you. Of course I had Kareem. I did draft Kareem. No big.
Which is a great pick late in the draft.
It was. Well, it wasn't too late. I drafted him with my 6th round pick, I think, because I had read the reports that he was going to be the starter.
Yeah, with wear out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Injured. Yeah.
Injured the night before.
Right.
So I had to do a little adapting there. No big. And I didn't see that coming. I thought he was going to be good, but once you offered me Zeke, that was enough. Really, I think the most valuable player going forward for me, other than Zeke from that trade, has been Alshon. He's been great.
Yeah, Alshon's been better than I expected.
He has been. So yeah, that just in general, those controversies. Hopefully, we get through those. This last one, has hopefully. I don't think it's as big of a deal. Because I don't think any malintent was the purpose of the trade. I think I know that Rampone's out, and for him to trade, if anything, maybe we should move up. We should move up the draft or the trade deadline. I think if anything, that's something we should do.
Yeah,
it's just up to do that.
I don't hate that. So
yeah. And just real quick, if we had to guess, right, Kyle and Josh, where would we put them in terms of votes? Because we still need one more.
I would say Josh is going to lean toward Yes.
You think he's going to lean yes?
Yes, and I think Kyle is really, I can't say. He's really
Kyle
50-50.
Kyle is a wild card. I really have no idea.
He benefited from the kicker this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's for it.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. So yeah, I mean that's the little review week in review, I guess you could say, so far for the league. And
we'll probably cover just at the end of the season how things end up finishing. In regards to players, their positions, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Some surprises.
We did do a little. We're actually 35 minutes in.
Yeah,
already.
So I think we're pretty set. I mean, this is episode 0.
Right.
We'll save some information we got here for another day.
Right. And Bubbles, hopefully
talking.
this is all my sister's here. We'll cut this part out. But yeah. Shaking her head. Did not bring home the hot roommate from school.
Whoa. More controversy.
That would have been great. We would have had her on.
That's what we got for today.
Yeah. And Bubbles, I'll make sure she's not barking next time.
We'll edit it out.
The people who have played Call of Duty know that this is like par for the course for my life, really, is Bubbles barking. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. We were going to talk about some positional recaps, but I mean, I think I don't think we expected to talk as much as we did about the league recap there.
Yeah, league recap. We're giving a good basis though for what people can expect to hear.
Right.
And
also, I think we should say too is if the sound doesn't sound great, we are working on that. We have 2 microphones. The thing is that I did some troubleshooting, no big, and it says that both of the microphones, we got the same ones. We thought that'd be a good thing. Apparently, they have the same serial number and the same identification code. So that when I put them into the computer thinks there's only one, even though there's 2. Right. I don't see why they would do that.
Screwing us here, really.
Yeah, quite the misplay there by the Bills.
We'll each have our own, so it'll
right.
be hopefully good quality overall. I think we'll be fine, but either way, it's a little easier if we have our own.
It would be a lot easier. It would be because we're kind of like huddling over this one, and it hopefully it sounds good.
Yeah.
But I'm sending mine back to the
Company Blue.
To the company. They're gonna handle it. I said, hey, we need this for the league. They said no problem. So hopefully that'll be resolved, and if not. I don't think this will sound too bad either.
No,
so,
we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So that's what we got for today, covering the BFFL, some of the matchups for this week. We'll do some recaps toward the end of the season.
Yep.
Talk a little bit more about players moving forward on Tuesdays. We plan on doing the podcast on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah. And
Tuesdays, we can, recap the whole Saturday college football. We can talk a little bit if we want, but mainly
could do some that. Could do some college basketball. Could do some.
Yep.
It's gonna be free flowing, really. I mean, I don't think we have like any. This is not going to be like the fantasy football podcast. I mean, it is based off that, but we're going to talk about whatever, really.
And Friday the other day, just because we're coming off the Thursday game, entering the weekend, give some predictions out there.
Of course.
So
get some
we got
predictions.
a lot going on. We got BFFL. We got our fantasy league. We'll talk a little daily fantasy.
Oh, we're going to be talking daily.
We're going to be talking what's happening. We're going to get the book club.
We're going to get the book club.
2018.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about, we might get our politicians on here. Peter Lattis.
Oh, my God.
Travis Wood.
We are going, we're definitely going to get Peter Lattis on here.
We only got Wood here for a week, so we need to have him on.
Wood might have to be guest number 1.
He's not doing anything. He's home, so he'll probably come over Friday.
Yeah, we might have to go there. I don't know if I want him over here, but
yeah,
no, I'm just kidding, true. Travis. I'm just kidding.
Just kidding, Wood. Yeah.
If the hot roommate was here, maybe, but no, she's not here. I think the other girl left, so I hope so.
It got a little awkward silence there because we're the only ones talking here. But
that's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's a successful first pod here.
Yep.
So thanks for listening. If you did listen, you can find us on. I'm hoping to get us onto iTunes soon. So we're gonna try and get us onto iTunes. And we also hope to get onto. We're gonna be on. It's called Podbean. Pod and then BEAN, Podbean. I don't know. It's the only free place you can put your podcasts. So we're going to be on there, and I'm also going to put this on YouTube so people can listen to it there too. So a bunch of ways to find us there. And you can find us on Twitter, of course, Tyler_Mayor for me.
Yep, and at KStritch33.
So,
and then Instagram, KStritch.
True. My Instagram is TM and then 2_89 because I accidentally liked the former student's picture. I had to change my name so they wouldn't know it was me.
Geez.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I was just looking, and
then we have...
it just happened. But
then we have at the BFFL 860.
Right. If anything, you go and follow that one.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
That's a big... Yep. We're slacking a little bit on that one, but...
Well, I was going to say, with the little time we have left here, I was told by Squid, in particular, actually, he was a little upset that we haven't had any contests or anything.
Yeah, true.
But I told him, I said that the first time was just so electric and so... That whole contest, it's hard to replicate that contest.
Yeah, maybe if we start advertising a little bit, we'll get shout out Bill's Pizza.
Oh yeah, some Bill's Pizza. I'm hoping maybe get a sponsor.
Make some money off this, promoting them. They
Uncle
might see
D's.
Yeah, maybe talk to Andy
It's
about that.
flat, fellas. It's flat.
Yep. What else? We could go anywhere.
Bill. We already said Bill's.
Who do we know?
Daco.
Yes, Daco.
Kyle,
yes.
Daco.
Advertise. We'll get some money, and then once we start making money off the podcast with the advertising, we can do giveaways and keep bringing in more business.
Oh yeah.
And then that's what I'm talking about.
The plan is in motion. Hopefully it's simple. We just have to hope we get some some listeners.
We'll get
really.
D'Lo,
Yes.
Maxi Lorenzo, number 44 running back, UConn Huskies. Not to brag. But I was in an Instagram with Max and Noel.
Were you?
Yep.
And
weekend.
wow.
Yep. So the former UConn wide receiver.
I remember I met Noel one time.
Noel Thomas, right?
That was a big moment for me because I was probably the only football fan
So who knows? Maybe we could bring the setup out to D'Lo and Noel. We'll talk to basically an NFL player. Maybe we get Byron.
He's essentially an NFL player. I mean, he's like on the practice squad, right? Isn't that what it is?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
regardless, not to brag, in an Instagram with Noel Thomas. So we're already on our way. The Max is like our stepping stone. We'll have him on. And
we do need Max.
We'll need D'Lo. Yep.
D'Lo. Yep. D'Lo, you're basically our claim to fame. So.
Yep, we'll have him on. Max will talk a little bit about Kyrie, best point guard in the league.
Oh my God.
We'll get into NBA because NFL, it doesn't last forever.
It doesn't last forever.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
I wish it did.
And hot take, I'm predicting lockout 2020, no NFL.
That's not a. I don't think that's a hot prediction. I think that's a good prediction.
Especially when they have to redo the bargaining agreement.
They do. They need to get rid of the whole
There could be NFL players on strike.
We could. That would be sad. What would we even do if that happened?
We'd be fucked. Let's not think about that.
I'm not gonna think about that.
That's what we got for today.
But that's what we got for today.
Yeah. We'll work on editing this. We're gonna, for example, edit this out. We'll make it sound good. Get the J Electronica in, and we're good.
Yeah, a little J Electronica in, maybe a little J Electronica out.
Exhibit C.
Little Exhibit C.
And there you have it.
There you have it, folks. So make sure you check back. Hopefully Saturday. We'll have number one, official one out.
Official one will be out.
And hopefully, we do have a little guest. I think we have to do Wood.
We will.
We'll talk to Wood. So.
From my nigga Diddy view, I think I see his vision too. Purple rain over Central Park, chillin' with my hoons. Big pops and Sades, Cirocs and Chardonnays. My gassy sassy, so my